Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist, and this is my weekly reading where I connect with the angelic energy and the collective energy, the energy that is connected to all of us, impacting all of us, the energy that we are all responding to. And I connect with that to get messages for you for how to make the most of this weekly energy. We're in such an important time, and I really like where this energy is moving. If you guys are interested in getting a really in-depth overview as to the entire month of March, I have my monthly reading up in my membership at claritybychristy.com. I have the link down below. I have the monthly energy session. I have a bunch of classes, a whole bunch of content up there that you can access. It's only $9.99 a month. So make sure that you check that out if you're interested in that monthly overview. It lets you be strategic for the month and lets you get a sense of what to expect. But here in my weekly, we break down the week ahead, what to expect, what we're looking at, and what the angels want you to know so that we can make the most of this energy that we have coming up. I think that this is beautiful. I have to backtrack a little bit for those of you who are newer, and I would recommend going back and watching the past few readings or so, just because I'm not going to be able to cover everything here in this reading. But we've been on a journey for quite some time where we have entered into a new chapter. And in this new chapter, we found ourselves first entering into a new chapter and then finding the energy to be pretty halted, to be pretty stuck and slow, and forcing us to go within and to process some things, not really the kind of energy that we would expect as we begin a new chapter. And then we moved into this energy of making a decision. And we talked about that so much last week, where we were making decisions in terms of, where do I want to go next? I have made some changes, I have released some things, but there was very much this risk of choosing to maybe move into this new chapter and have some things be different, but to find ourselves repeating similar patterns, connecting with similar energies, that kind of stuff. So, new chapter, same shit, basically. And then we had this other path that looked scarier because it required us to shake it up. It required us to do things differently and to challenge ourselves in some way, to take a look at how we've been doing things and recognizing where we need to do things differently, or where we need to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, or where we need to lean into trust, surrender, flow, and letting it unfold. And we still are a bit in this energy where we're choosing, but I feel like, especially today, we had a pretty significant quantum leap. So I feel like these paths are separating. And so the more that we're doing to do things differently, or to look at things from different perspectives, to speak to ourselves differently, to challenge ourselves in new ways, the more that we're going to be supporting a new and different path that's going to be carrying us into all of the things that we want to be manifesting. So where are you called to do things differently? Where are you called to shake it up? It could be big things, it can be little things. And now we begin our journey, right? Now we begin to travel along this path. And the energy today, I don't know if you guys feel it, but man, I'm filming this on Tuesday the 28th, and I had to check, right? Because I could feel there was so much going on, and I saw that I felt us take a quantum leap today. And so there was so much going on with the planetary energy. If you're watching, there was major solar storms. There's been geomagnetic storms happening for 36 hours straight. There was a lot that was happening. So if you're feeling things like off or dizzy or weird or confused or funny, or for me it's always like heart palpitation stuff, or my stomach feels like it's fluttering, things like that, our bodies are responding to this. And what does this mean energetically? What it means is that our bodies are receiving these super blasts of light. It is supporting us in raising our vibration, in connecting to a higher vibration, because as our planet's vibration raises, we have an option to go with it and to choose to raise our vibration with it so that we are in the highest possible timeline. And I think that some of us jumped into a higher timeline. So what does that mean? I'm going to try to explain it really simply and easily, because I could talk about this for a very long time and still not have fully explained it. But in the simplest of terms, it means that we have chosen a better path for ourselves. So basically we chose the path today, and we moved into it. We have the option available to us to have all kinds of experiences, and we're having all kinds of experiences all at the same time. And so when we shift into a timeline, it's moving into a higher timeline where the experiences can get better, and where we're manifesting the more of the things that we want, more high vibrational experiences, and we're making life easier for ourselves, and life gets to be easier. And I think that that's a big part of this energy that we're shifting into, is that life gets to be easier. Now, is it going to be easy? We're here on Earth, and I think that there are challenges here with that we intended for ourselves in the ways that we wanted to learn and we wanted to grow. But I also don't think that it has to be as hard as we've been making it either. So the more that right now we can just be letting ourselves be led, and that we aren't getting too caught up in a need to control the situation or to control the outcome, the more that we can detach from outcomes and just think about ourselves on this new path that we might not even understand where it's going or how it's unfolding, but we're leaning into faith, we're leaning into trust, and that is going to be taking us where we need to go. And I called this video The Hero's Journey Begins, because that's truly what it feels like. And I think that if we can approach it in that way, I've been talking about, it's kind of a choose your own adventure energy, and this is an adventure. And so can we treat it like an adventure? Can we treat everything that's showing up in a way of, oh, how exciting, this is happening for me now, and this is happening for me now, instead of being afraid of the change, instead of doubting it or sabotaging it or questioning it? Can we just be on this journey and appreciating everything that's happening, understanding that it's all happening for us, and understanding that we will be met with choices. When I connected with the messages around this week, I heard A Hero's Journey Begins, and I also heard you will be met with choices. And it felt like all along the path, we meet up with different experiences, and we have options in terms of how we're going to respond to that, right? That's life anyway. But how are you going to respond? And so one of the messages in terms of advice for how to respond is to keep moving forward. If we're going backward, we're going the wrong way. We want to keep going forward on this path. So whatever that means for you, whether that's going back into a situation that we know doesn't serve us anymore, whether that's that we have energetically moved away from, whether that's going back into patterns, habits that we let go of, but they're kind of calling our name right now, or going back into old ways of thinking, old mindset, whatever that looks like, we don't want to go backward. We don't want to repeat patterns, because then it's going to force us to have to do this work again. And I think that we're going to find ourselves much happier, much more fulfilled if we can keep moving forward with this. So not going backward, keep moving forward. And also we want to choose from a place of that best supports us living our most authentic life, a life that feels most free, connecting with our freedom, and also the choices that allow us to be of service in some way, because I think that that's going to be really important in the direction that we're going as well, right? So we want to think about our own authenticity, living that authentic path. We want to think about, how can I live a life that helps me to feel more free, and what choices do I need to make that align with that? But also, how do I make choices from a place that allows me to be of service in the way that I feel that God, the universe, whatever you call that, is calling me to serve? Because if we're not doing that part, what's the point, right? We're all here to serve a purpose. We're all here to contribute something in some way. And it's just about listening to that. And I think that we're going to be really guided maybe this week, definitely over the next couple months, in terms of what that looks like and how we can do that. But pay attention to those intuitive prompts. The energy is absolutely moving forward, and things are starting to happen, and you're going to start to see things manifesting. I even see that in the cards. We're going to talk about the tarot cards in a couple minutes. I see that in the cards where stuff is starting to happen, and we're slowly moving out of that Mars retrograde shadow that has just been keeping us tired and moving slowly and feeling like there are barriers. And so it's like little by little, these barriers are being released, and we get to move forward, and we get to live the life that we want to live. But a hero's journey requires courage. It requires us to continue to keep going and to not let these little things that seem to throw us off path to actually throw us off path, to force us to turn around, to force us to give up on ourselves, because it's going to be really important to keep going unless our soul is saying, no, this isn't the path and we need to redirect a little bit. But if your soul knows this is where I need to go, this is what I need to be doing, it's going to be really important that we continue to move in that direction and that we continue to honor what that feels like for us. We don't want to let anything pull us off path. Let me give you an example. I shared with you guys a few weeks ago when I got back from that experience in Orlando that I was full of ideas and I had all of these things that I'm going to be working on, and I am, right? I've been working a lot. It's changed the energy in my work a lot, where I can't keep up at the rate that I'm going. So I'm needing to make some changes with some things that I'm doing there with my scheduling, and just in terms of, I shared this before, but in terms of my availability and things like that. But I had a really clear vision and a lot of motivation ready to go. And I found that over the past week or so, I've just had a lot of things that are like almost feeling like they're coming in as barriers. But one of the things that I know is that right when we're on the brink of a breakthrough, a lot of times some things will break down and a lot of challenges will show up. And so I feel like in some ways it's that, right? It's that fear trying to prevent me from moving forward with what my soul knows that I need to be doing. I also feel like there's a little bit of a test in that, where it's like, are you sure? Are you sure that this is what you want? Are you sure that this is where you want to go? And it gives us that opportunity to pause and think and process and really listen to our souls and make sure that that's the direction that we want to go in. But I know it's a hell yes for me. I know. And I'm very, very clear on that. But what I found for me in terms of not wanting to go backwards, I noticed old thoughts started to creep in. Can I really do this? Is this going to work? Who am I to do this? All of that bullshit that is not true. But it was there, right? But this time I recognized it, and I've been really challenging that, and I'm noticing that that's coming up a bit more, and I'm noticing there's been just some logistical things that have made some things difficult. But I could make excuses and I could not move forward with that, or I could find a way around these barriers and keep moving forward, and I can talk back to my bullshit. I can talk back to all of those things that are those voices that aren't helpful to me. Right? When my soul, the only voice that really matters, God's voice, is showing me exactly what I need to be doing and where I need to be going. So there's faith and trust required on this hero's journey, and courage. You're going to have to connect with that courage. But that is going to be really important. And so recognizing what's trying to pull you off path and being really mindful to not allow that to happen, especially because we've already made so much progress. Let's take a look at the cards. So the first card that we have here is the Page of Wands. This is like such a hero's journey begins card. This is us connecting with a sense of adventure, us connecting with that inner child or that youthful part of ourselves that is really excited about some of the things that we're creating or doing or wanting to do, and we're ready. right? But we're very new on this journey. This is a new chapter. This is a new journey. So we have a lot of things to learn, and we have a lot of different ways to grow. There's even some collective shifts in terms of the collective lessons that we're going to be learning as we get a little bit further out into the year. And I feel like that's this as well. There's this new journey, and can we just let our light lead us, our sense of adventure lead us, our excitement lead us? That is always going to show us the path. That is always going to show us the way. Our fear will never show us the way. In fact, it'll just block us, which is interesting because let me just show you the cards and how they showed up together. I then had the Knight of Swords. It's like almost blocking that Page of Wands, right? And then I had the Nine of Cups, which is about wish fulfillment, right? The only thing that stands in between our wish fulfillment, swords represent thoughts, our negative thoughts, are the attacks on our person in some way, shape, or form, whether they come from ourselves or they come from outside of ourselves. So if we can instead treat this like we're ready to go and we know what we want and just lean into the adventure, we're going to get here to this Nine of Cups, to fulfillment, to feeling celebrated, to feel like life is worth celebrating, to feeling like we are fulfilled in life. And so it's going to be really important. And this Knight of Swords is also about charging full speed ahead. So can we do that too? Can we let ourselves really move forward quickly? This energy is moving quickly, especially here as we move a little bit further into March. And so can we, just go for it? This is very much go for it energy. And on the other side of that too is the Ace of Pentacles. Maybe a new stream of revenue coming in, or a new home, or just a new sense of abundance, or new abundance coming in, new opportunities to have some freedom of time, new resources, new offers coming in, something new and beautiful that provides for us in a way where we feel safe and comfortable and supported by the universe. And with that, we take that and two of Pentacles. We use that to begin to create some balance. It's been kind of crazy, right? And I think that we're going to be working hard. I think we're going to be busy. I said that last week, but I also think now it's like, okay, but also, where do I need to get my shit together a little bit? Where do I need to bring some things into balance a little bit so that I set myself up for the most success on this hero's journey? Last card. This is where we're going. Empress. My favorite card in the deck. I love the Empress. She is successful. She has learned all of the lessons of the queens. She is confident. She is powerful. She is abundant. She is a magnet for all of the things that she wants to create in her life. This is, by the way, my word for 2023. So pretty powerful. And she is sitting pretty, understanding that she has created something pretty incredible for herself. So some of this energy is going to be us doing the work and being on the journey, but also understanding that we want to create a balance with that, and we also want to take a step back and let some of it come to us. To me, this is that message. It's really supporting that message of us not having to work so hard. It doesn't have to be so hard anymore. And can we just release that? Because I think that we get attached to that sometimes because we're so used to it. Can we release that and let it be easy? Let it be light. Let it be an adventure. Let it be fun. Let it be exciting where we're being led, because it's really, really beautiful what we're creating for ourselves if we allow it. If we don't allow our negative thoughts or other people's sharp tongues or things that they have to say prevent us from doing what our soul knows is absolutely what's best for us. All right, guys, those are your messages here for this week. If these messages resonate at all with you, I appreciate a like, a comment below, a share, tagging someone, whatever you feel called to do. I appreciate you all so much. If you're watching this on my YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button below as well. Thank you, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care, guys.